Brothers and sisters, I just wanted to share some beautiful insight on the kingdom. And I we had just gotten home from out of town, and I was in my office working. And on the whiteboard, as you can see behind me, I did the video on the salt of the earth. And then a few days ago, I did the 3 videos on familiar spirits. And it's amazing how when we just listen and we follow what the Spirit is prompting us to do, how things come into further enlightenment of what's being given. So, with all the information that I gave on the videos of familiar spirits and our awakening and aligning our nervous system, an understanding came back to me, and it's been put on my heart a few times now. So I'm going to share this, the salt of the earth. We go through experiences so that then they can be used for good. They can be used for the purposes of why you experience them. So with the videos that I did a few days ago on familiar spirits, I want to share an experience that I went through about 27 months ago. It was probably the hardest trial that I've been through. And I've been through the death of a spouse. I've been through lots of different things. Okay, lots of different things. And this by far was probably the hardest. And when I went through this trial, I cried out and I was asking Father, what is going on here? I do not even understand what is happening here. Because all these things were surfacing around me. I was being shown through people like deceit, deception, betrayal, manipulation, lying, jealousy, using power of titles to dominate over people, to get them to bow down to what people wanted them to do. Coming in and people causing division and strife and really wanting to divide and separate and conquer. And the list goes on and on. It was a very, very difficult time in my life, extremely difficult. And over the past few years, I understand more fully now today what was given to me when I cried out to Father. And I'm like, I do not understand what is happening here. I do not get this, what is happening. And he says, I am showing you everything that the kingdom is and everything that the kingdom is not. And how this time I need my kingdom to stand. And so as, all these different things were manifested into the light that were dark, of generational curses, sexual sin. I mean, you name it. It was thrown at me in the environment that I was placed in. And it was horrific. And then the journey of healing began, of generational curses and all of these, just a ton of healing began to take place. And I see now that, at the time it was like, okay, it's time for the kingdom to come forward. This is so amazing. And what Father was showing me was my people are not ready for the kingdom to come forward. They have not done the healing. They have not done the inward work. They still have a lot of growth and healing to do in order to live in a kingdom environment. The old has to be rooted from us. And even in those situations, you're going to find yourself in situations that, a person may be ridding generational curses from them, going through their own healing process. And so with that, again, hurt, pain, familiar spirits, just because they're familiar spirits does not mean that you are not, that they are not going to come in, and if some area in their life has not been healed, that they would not cause division and strife or chaos or manipulation, deceit, deception, whatever it is. And so I share this experience because we are the salt of the earth. And if we have these experiences that we go through and then we don't share them to help people, then they were for naught. And this was one of the hardest experiences I've ever been through in my entire life. And but through the process, now seeing everything that has to be ridded and why it was so important that the people were doing the inward work. Because the kingdom cannot stand in the things of, deception and deceit and lying and manipulation and using titles to power and dominate, patriarchal dominance or matriarchal dominance, either one. Um, it's been such an eye opener for me the last 27 months. And seeing now that it's truly important that these things are healed so that the kingdom can come forward. Because as we are around like-minded people, there are still things in people that are going to need to be healed. But hopefully we have done the inward work so that those things can be healed and we can live now in a more balance and harmony and rhythm with the earth. We can truly step into the kingdom, because 27 months ago, I really thought in my heart that, hey, we're ready to step into this. And whoa, it was a whirlwind of an experience that absolutely, Father was showing me, I'm going to show you everything that the kingdom is not, and all of these things that cannot remain. And so, and it was the hardest travel I've ever been through in my life. But if I don't share this experience to help people see, have you really taken the time to do the inward work? People are saying that they're ready for, the kingdom to come forward. They're ready for, our King, Emmanuel, to come forward. But have you done the inner work? Because if you have not, you are in for a whirlwind of an experience. And even with doing inward work, you are going to be shown more of the inward work and more depth that still has to be healed from you. So just some food for thought, and that I went through this experience, to help other people, to really do the inward work. Are you really ready to live in the kingdom? And, are the people that are saying around you that are saying that they're ready to live a kingdom lifestyle, are they really ready? Because if they are not, you will know it. And it was made manifest very quickly to me in that experience. And I withdrew and I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't even know what's happening here. It was absolutely a living nightmare. So I share that because we are the salt of the earth, and it's truly important that the kingdom stands. And it was so important in that instant that Father was telling me, I'm showing you everything that the kingdom is and everything that it is not, and how he needed it to stand. But under the circumstances of where people's hearts were 2 years ago, it couldn't stand. And so I know that so many of us have been through massive healings over the last 2 years, and it has been beautiful, and stripping generational curses, those false traditions of the fathers and false beliefs, and truly being the generational curse breakers and getting to a place of inner peace, doing the inward work, and truly letting our light shine through the example of what we went through, because we are the salt of the earth. But if the salt has lost its savor, then it's good for nothing. So we went through these experiences so that they meant something, so that they mean something in helping the kingdom be built upon the earth, at having it return. So let it be something. Let that salt and those experiences continue to have their flavor, because if they've lost their savor, it's good for nothing. So truly, let us be the salt of the earth and use these experiences now for good and to help others. Have a glorious evening.